TIL, a reclusive British trader, caused a flash crash in 2010 that wiped $1 trillion off the US stock market while trading from his parents' house in London. His trading strategies were anything but ordinary, however. Utilizing custom-made algorithms, Sarah would place and cancel large orders to manipulate the market's perceived liquidity. Amazing! I love ordinary people exposing what complete bullshit the stock markets are by taking the piss like this. It's basically a big fantasy football league using companies instead of sports people. But it manipulates so much money and causes so much misery that it's basically evil. Corporations using split-second algorithmic programs to game the system perfectly legal. Some peasant using split-second algorithmic programs to game the system. SWAT team go go go. It's funny how all the rules coincidentally can be interpreted one way for the oligarch and corporations, but then magically interpreted another way for the normies. Here's more on the lawsuits. Flannery, represented by Skadden, Arps, Slate, Marflom, claims lost profits from land it did not buy and from overcharges for properties it did purchase. Source: Citadel. And Alex Jerko sent the DOJ after him and on top of it got paid on the whistleblower complaints submitted for the activity. Their business is front-running and spoofing interfered with that business. Jerko likes wash trading too, but since he does some of the most volume on the exchange he gets a pass. Wouldn't you need a massive amount of capital to create a significant impact on a stock's performance, or even just to place these types of orders? It seems like the effect of automated buy orders and subsequent cancellations on market perception of a stock would be negligible unless you had millions. SEC did propose regulation on HFT. Something regulators should tread lightly. In November 2020, he was sentenced to a year of home confinement and ordered to forfeit $12.8 million in ill-gotten gains. Oh no, not a penalty of home confinement in 2020-21 in the UK, no. Especially not for an extreme introvert like Sarah. No. Lots of explanations below that spoofing is illegal because it fucks with HFT based on analyzing the order book. Hard to have sympathy for either market participants there. Both should be either illegal or fair game. Ideally the former, I guess. So it's thanks to this fucking cunt that Wall Street installed circuit breakers that would eventually be used to halt and manipulate the price of GameStop stock when it rose too high for shorts comfort. Now 44 years old, Sarah was on benefits from the government and still lives with his parents in Hounslow. Ouch! Imagine having millions of dollars and then later having to live on government benefits. Sue! He did what the big traders do every day? I believe the law says it's illegal to spoof placing and canceling orders without execution unless you can afford $1 million a day lawyers. Brad Katsuyama, the trader Michael Lewis wrote about in Flash Boys, had been warning about the dangers of high-frequency trading years before, and no one would listen to him. It's almost like the stock market is just a huge scam based on nothing but rich people's gut feelings and we base the well-being of our economy on it. I'm not so sure that is accurate. For example, the claim that George Soros crashed the British pound once is a myth that is commonly accepted as truth. When the Rothschild let their pre-bar mitzvah kid open a Schwab account to teach him responsibility with a paltry $200 billion of play money, he performed a very important role in the stock market. He showed a very serious vulnerability and should have been awarded, not penalized. There is a really good documentary made about him and the timeline of events that transpired. The financial crash was 2008. As Blair ran away just before it and left Brown in charge. Who had no idea? Never heard of one in 2010. Imagine convincing the world one guy did this versus Wall Street execs getting caught on the wrong side of the trade. Convenient. But when a large hedge fund does it, they're just being smart. The double standard is, and always has been, super gross. I find it absolutely ridiculous that a documentary about this auto played on my YouTube on my TV this morning. Saw a video about this guy. Very interesting. Not in it for the money it seems, or at least to flash it. Translation: we build a 7-story house of cards and some kid left the window open and it all blew over. I release TIL but replace it with what if I told you. In 30 for 30 voice. Makes me smile. I remember that. 'Twas epic. Yeah, I made a mistake but it could have been worse. Material. In case you needed further proof that the stock market is BS and debt money is fake. So what you're saying is, rich people are a threat to national security. Thoughtful face, thoughtful face, thoughtful face, thoughtful face, thoughtful face. Get JC Chandora in that story. Would love another film like Margin Call. That is a good sign that we're having a shitty system in that regard. This is basically what they try to do in billions all the time. Someone lost $1 trillion, but someone else also gained $1 trillion. I guarantee some big hedge fund made billions off this shit. This should not be possible. Money is so fucking imaginary. Never underestimate an Indian with an internet connection. Flash Crash by Liam Vaughan is a great book on the topic. Today, Ken Griffin from Citadel is doing the same thing. Well, at least the Barings guy could work from home.